Welcome back, everybody. All right, I think we all know what time it is, right? We all know who we're dealing with here. Check out this one. Lawsuit alleges Trudeau accessed child. Yeah, so we need to be like very vigilant here. Like and subscribe because we need to get this out and about. Thanks again.
This is massive and breaking news. A lawsuit was just filed against the Toronto Star because they did not publish the fact that they were given information by an RCMP officer that Justin Trudeau was accessing child, I'm not going to say the word, but it rhymes with corn, online while he was the Prime Minister. The lawsuit was filed by a guy named Jeffrey Brown, and you might be thinking, oh, this is just some sort of a wacko. This guy's a former criminal attorney. He made his lawsuit publicly available, and he included a Dropbox link to it. And as you can see the highlighted sections, he said, I met with a prominent Toronto Star investigative journalist named Robert Cribb to discuss a situation. And it said that he let me know that the Toronto Star had recently been told by the RCMP that Justin Trudeau was watching Kitty, I'll say corn, aka underage, you know what it is, on his devices. He explained that the RCMP knew this because it was one of their responsibilities to monitor. Now, he said, we did not get into why the RCMP hadn't thought to brought this information to public themselves. He says, I contend that the Star had an obligation to provide this information to the Canadian public sometime between the date they received from the RCMP and the date that his time in office came to an end. Through this lens, the 2-year limitation period commences from outside that edge date. This is obviously extremely concerning and a major, major, major problem for Justin Trudeau and the RCMP, because if this is true and it did not come out to public and it did not come to light, this is a massive problem for trust that goes into our institutions that are supposed to hold everyone equally accountable. This is unbelievable.
So now you know why this all happens, because everybody's doing it. Everybody. Wake up, everybody. More facts that the government just keeps hiding from you, right? Our corporations and government, they don't like us people. Check this out.
They told women in the study not to get pregnant. Nonetheless, 270 women got pregnant in the study, vaccinated women. Now, 234 of them, the records of what happened to that pregnancy were lost, which is illegal. Pfizer is supposed to follow them through pregnancy. However, of the 36 women who gave birth, over 80% of them lost their babies. Over 80%. Pfizer knew that.
If this isn't a fight for survival, I don't know what is. They're doing a lot of things to us, everybody, at every level, and we just sit back and do nothing like good civilized people. Enough, right? Enough.
Mark Carney, the self-proclaimed outsider and the self-proclaimed best choice for the Liberal leader of Canada after Justin Trudeau resigns. It only took me 5 minutes to realize that this guy was more of an insider than the entire members list of the Bohemian Grove Secret Society. Yeah, the guy's been at Bilderberg meetings, like a true outsider, like you and me. We're outsiders. Of course, we're going to go to Bilderberg meetings. And if you're wondering why he's been filmed or had pictures taken with Ghislaine Maxwell, according to the Toronto Sun, it's because his wife's sister went to the same high school as Ghislaine Maxwell. Totally believable for someone who's gone to the Bilderberg meetings. Anyway, what Mark Carney is basically an economic grim reaper. He is BlackRock's trustee for bankruptcy. His entire job is to go into countries, absolutely economically destroy them, and then have investment banks buy out all of the resources and labor while taking away your freedoms and rights under the Green New Deal. That was literally his idea. So let me just show you some of the things I found about Mark Carney, the outsider that everybody talks about. In 2008 crisis in Canada, what Mark Carney did is he loaded us up with so much debt that the moment the economy turned, the working class in Canada is now 75% working class, paid for it through interest rates so high they crippled and broke every middle class family with a mortgage. And then he moved to England and did the exact same to the English. And his name there is actually Mark Carnage. Even the former Liberal Party president Stephen Ledoux says that Carney is a wickedly dangerous man hoping to curtail individual freedom in order to achieve his view of what the world needs. He makes the WEF, the World Economic Forum, look like libertarians. He's also BlackRock's bankruptcy trustee. Isn't that weird how he's such an outsider? Lol. He's also leading a campaign for a green digital cryptocurrency to replace the US dollar, you know, because that's totally normal. He's such an outsider that he's basically a member of the group of 30. I mean, you might as well just be a part of the committee of 300. And also the World Economic Forum, and he's attended Bilderberg meetings. He also wrote, if some companies and industries fail to adapt to this new anti-carbon world, they will fail to exist. So he's basically telling you that you have no choice. Not really surprising considering he wrote a book called Values, Building a Better World for All, and where he says Western society is morally rotten and also requires rigid controls on personal freedoms. And I also came to find out that he's been advising Justin Trudeau in the background in 2020, and he is the reason why Canadians had their bank accounts frozen during the trucker protests. Let me show you. Mark Carney said this about the convoy. Those who are still helping to extend this occupation must be identified and punished to full force of the law. Drawing the line means choking off the money that financed this occupation. And he's not referring to financial organizations or companies disobeying his green rules, but the citizens who have the right to protest. Yeah. And what's also interesting is if you look into him, every job that he had, he was appointed to. There were multiple people in line for his job with a lot more experience than Mark Carney, and somehow he just got in. Because he's really good friends with people at Bilderberg groups and like other groups, you know, that kind of control everything in the world. So the guy is literally Justin Trudeau's handler. And because Justin Trudeau screwed up so much, he's now there to kind of finish Canada off. So if you guys really want to know who Mark Carney is, there you go. The outsider Mark Carney, aka the Grim Reaper for the economic destruction of Canada, and also the guy who's going to absolutely curtail and take away your freedoms in the name of the green environment initiatives.
Yep. While he was like with Brookfield, was it? He was telling everybody's going to net zero. And the whole time Brookfield was destroying the Amazon at a rate you can see from satellite images. Yep. He's telling you you're bad for the environment. Meanwhile, the company he's representing was destroying the rainforest at a rate that could be seen from fucking outer space. Yeah.
Because they were putting DNA into your body and allowing your body 1/3 of the weight of every shot that went into you is deoxyribonucleic acid, which has the ability to cross into the nucleus of your cell. And once in there, something called transfection occurs. It's nothing to do with infection. Transfection just means uptake into the same bit of the body that has your genetic karyotype, your chromosomes. So these little DNA fragments get to sit right next to your chromosomes, be worked upon by certain enzymes, and the body just naturally starts to make it part of you. And so that's what they found, sadly. They found that in liver cells of patients and many other tissue cells of patients, both alive and deceased, they have found that the person's karyotype / chromosome material is permanently changed. Their sperm cells, their ovary cells, their spleen cells, their immune cells in the middle of their bone marrow, they are all permanently changed and have genetic material that is not human, and it is certainly not their humanity.
Flag's been raised on Wethersfield, guys. It's been reclaimed.
What's happened today then?
What?
We just got off and we got off. Yeah. All right. Done. Something about a flag? Put a flag up?
We put an English flag up in
English
England.
Or...
They're flying up the road. Yeah. They're literally flying up the road, bud.
Yeah. This would be for the thumbnail. Yeah.
Wow, look, they got a whole car full. Did it.
Yeah, we've been on antisocial behaviour.
We walked on.
Gives us the power to ask for your name and your address.
Yeah, okay. Okay, fair play.
If that is not provided, that becomes an arrestable offence.
Okay. Flag's been raised on Wethersfield, guys. It's been reclaimed.
What's happened today then?
When the police have stopped protecting your family they have stopped protecting your community, it's time to say fuck you.
Do so in a peaceful and orderly manner will result in your being possibly being arrested, and on conviction you'll be liable to a fine of €1,000 or up to 6 months in prison. I would just urge you all to please peacefully remove yourselves from the area. Thank you. What do we think, lads?
What do the people of Ireland say?
No! We will not move!
We will not move!
We will not move. The fight is real, people. All the shit that happens in the West that you don't like, it comes from them. Check it out, man. They have no morals whatsoever. And don't go to Israel. They want to spit on you. If you're a Westerner or if you're Christian, they want you just like the Palestinians. I've seen too many videos where Israelis want everybody dead.
I don't think people really understand the magnitude of 100 airstrikes in 10 minutes. On a country that is 135 miles long from top to bottom, by the way. They are flattening buildings full of innocent people, civilians that have nothing to do with the war, nothing to do with the conflict at all. Gone. No evacuations, no warnings, no nothing. This is called indiscriminate bombings. This is exactly what they did in Gaza, and they literally told us to our faces they're going to use the same blueprint in Lebanon too. Okay? So repeat after me. Israel is the world's largest terrorist organization. There's no way around it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They are actively deleting people off the face of the fucking planet so that they can steal that land and make it part of the greater Israel project. Oh, we're just fighting terrorism. We're just getting rid of Hezbollah. Then why are we killing innocent people? They're playing in your face. They're playing right in your face.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm not a hateful person. I love everything. You know what I mean? But when you see the evil that come from these people, you know they're at the bottom of the barrel of the human DNA fucking spectrum. That's for fucking sure. The truth shall set you free, everybody. Enough is enough. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe. And I'll check in the next one.
This rogue, apartheid, genocidal, maniac, serial killing, pathologically lying state, isolated, shame anyone who goes there. Academics, celebrities, politicians, and they've been exposed for what they are. And Zionism's on its last leg. It only exists by the weight of its propaganda, and that propaganda has collapsed entirely. The world sees Israel for what it is, and it can't last for long in its current state. You cannot expect change in a society this far gone. It is full-throated fascist. And that's why they act the way they do, with full, total impunity, because they have no humanity left. This is a society so far gone with protection of a military empire, with hatred in their hearts. And we're seeing essentially the Fourth Reich today, marching forward, and there's no allied forces coming to save us. The Israeli Knesset just passed a law allowing the execution of Palestinian prisoners, but not Israelis. This is the true face of apartheid Israel. But this is nothing new. I saw this firsthand when I was in Israel back in 2016.